Today I'm going to make a video with a bit of a difference. I got asked which YouTubers actually got me into starting my own YouTube channel, and many moons ago, if we go right back to the start of YouTube and kind of guitar videos, I can remember a guy called Budroyce, and I can't spell it, and if I can find a link after I film this video I will put it down in the description. But I used that guy's videos so much. Basically he never appeared, whoever this guy was, in any videos. There was a picture of an amp that was taken from a website. He recorded that amp, and then he would do this with various amps, Engle Powerball, Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifiers, Mark 5s, Bogners, all the top amps at that time that were out there. He did a video of and put it out there, and I used that to kind of see which amps I was interested in. There was no boosts, nothing like that. It was straight into the amp, allegedly. We never saw any pictures of the amps other than pictures that were taken from websites and then put on. So I hope they were real, but I judged kind of which amps I wanted to not rush out and buy, but which amps I wanted to check out in stores. So what I'd do is I'd use this Budroyce guy and his videos of these amps, and if I liked the sound of one, if I liked the tone of one, I would then see where my nearest store is and I'd go play one of these and see if I liked it or not. And that's kind of how I worked back then and how I chose an amp. Obviously now things have changed massively. Another guy who was doing it was Lasse Lammert, who's appeared on my channel in various forms. One because of his connection with driftwood amps, as you can see behind me. His IRs are in that amp there, that Mini Nightmare. Lasse Lammert is a top producer. It's not what he does, YouTube is just something he does now and again if he gets a spare minute, puts a video out there. It's never been his main thing. It's definitely not his source of income. He's a top producer, that's where he gets his money from, that's what he does. But he's been a friend of mine now for quite some time, and it spans back to when I used to watch his YouTube channel, that friendship. You know, he didn't have many subscribers back then. I don't know how many he's got now, but mainly his amps, what I was interested in then were Marshalls. I was quite a big Marshall user back in the day, and he had modern Marshalls by Mike 14 and things like that. And yeah, I loved his channel, I loved talking to him, and I learned quite a lot, not just about miking amps up and things like that, but I learned bits about production and which tones sit where and which tones I actually liked myself. I kind of learned all this from talking to him, and can't thank him enough. Wonderful guy. So yeah, there's two guys straight away that have influenced me massively and influenced my channel. You've got to mention Rob Chapman. He's not really an influence, but I think he was the first guy that actually sat in his bedroom kind of doing this. Like, I think he used to have orange amps and PRS guitars. They were probably his two endorsements. He used to sit in like what looked like a bedroom, and he'd be surrounded by tons of orange amps and also tons of guitars, or he seemed to have tons of guitars, PRS guitars, and he would sit there and play and demo them in his bedroom. I think that was kind of the first YouTuber that actually brought you into his life, into his home and things, you know, and let you see all that. And I was in quite good touch with him at one point. We discussed bare knuckle pickups and various other things like that when they first emerged onto the scene and everything. I don't have much contact with him now, for whatever reason, I don't know. But yeah, I think he was the first guy that kind of did it from his home, and he kind of let you see his life almost, because he was doing it from his own house. Obviously Ola came along, and Ola just changed absolutely everything, and whether you like him or not doesn't really matter. I like him a lot, but I've got quite a lot to thank Ola for, and he won't even he won't even know, because it was that long ago now, and he will get that many messages, and did get that many messages then, even though I think his channel had about 10, he didn't even have 10k, I don't think it was even that big when I was talking to him like every week. Because what happened was, I bought a Mac and I got Logic, and I couldn't work it, I couldn't work the damn thing at all. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, I was lost. And obviously from seeing all those videos, I knew that he was using all Apple stuff, so I was messaging him all the time. I didn't even know I could basically press record and that's it, but getting my guitar to actually come through the damn Mac, you know, come out of the speakers and go into Logic and all those things, you know, punching in, all those things that actually get you off the ground, that get you going when you first purchase Logic or anything and first delve into it. Bear in mind, I'm an old man, you know, there were nobody at school teaching me how to use Macs and computers. So when I first delved into it all, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and Ola gave me so much advice. I think I'd have packed it in. If Ola hadn't have helped me out with how to work Logic to a basic level, how to get my guitar signal coming out, you know, what interface to buy, all these things, if Ola hadn't helped me with that, this channel probably wouldn't be here, because I would have lost my patience and I would have quit right back at the beginning. Also, what we need to know about Ola is that he totally changed everything. I think he was the first YouTuber ever to use more than one camera angle in a video. His videos were really well produced. I kind of like that raw tone that he used to have back then, you know, that's not quite as produced as it is now. Obviously he's got better at producing, his videos are even more produced, but back then I really liked that rawness of him just sat there in a shop or in a studio or wherever it was, playing through all different amps, and that's what got me interested in him. But yeah, he was the first person to use dual cameras when he was filming. I've tried it and it's okay, but it's a lot of hassle and I can't really be bothered to do that, to polish my videos to that degree of using different camera angles all the time. But yeah, I think he was the first guy to do it, and he definitely raised the bar. You know, everybody had to up their game when Ola came along, because he was doing it so professionally. He gave everybody like a kick up the arse. Another guy that we can't not mention is obviously Fluff Brian Bruce. Riffs, Beards and Gear is his channel. You all know who he is, there's no point, you know, going on about it, but I was in quite good contact with Fluff as well back in the day. Like, I used to talk to him quite a lot. I remember us having one conversation about where we put noise gates, and he back then, he doesn't do it now, but back then he put the noise gate in a really weird position before the overdrive, I think, you know, before the boost, which was quite strange. I did try it, it wasn't for me. Fluff has always been one of those guys that I've listened to, you know, not so much lately unless he gets a piece of gear on his channel that I'm really interested in. Obviously I'll watch it then, but he was probably one of the guys that I watched the most back in the day, and I actually prefer his older, more raw videos. When he looks back at them now, he kind of cringes, like we all do, and he cringes about the production and the quality of audio and the quality of the camera and all those things. But I really liked it back then. I liked his style of playing, I liked his songs, his riffs. A lot of his riffs that were in videos and his little short snippets of songs what he recorded were good enough to be in, you know, top songs in my opinion. Some of the riffs were awesome. Fluff also is probably the most copied man on YouTube, I believe. You know, I mean, we all kind of copy each other and get ideas from each other, but I think Ryan is one of the guys that gets copied the most. Like, he was the first guy that I ever saw playing guitar on YouTube that had an intro at the beginning with some of his own music, you know, and all that. And I used to have one, actually, an intro on my stuff, and then I just got rid of it because I thought this is pointless. It's a waste of 60 seconds. Can't be bothered with it, so I just got rid of it. But yeah, he was one of the first people to actually put an intro on videos, which is good to have an intro on videos because it increases watch time. Because if the video doesn't start for a minute because of the intro that you have to watch to wait for the rest, then that's a minute extra that your viewers are watching your videos. But I got rid of mine because I just couldn't be bothered with it. But yeah, that's a hugely copied thing. Also the FAQ Fridays, I think it is, that's been copied massively. I did it myself. I tried to have a go at it, and I found I was only interested in doing it if I could get people on my channel that were other YouTubers, you know, to read out the questions and stuff. It made it a bit more interesting, and I quite liked it. For those of you that not seen my FAQs, have a look at them. I think I did 3 or 4, but yeah, they were okay, but I answer all comments and messages anyway. I'm probably one of the only YouTubers that actually answers comments and messages these days, whether it's on Facebook, which is mainly where all my messages are, or whether it's comments in videos. I answer them all. I try and answer them all. I'm probably one of the few guys doing that for some reason. I don't know why. It does get my back up a bit when I see YouTubers who are clearly only there to be a big YouTuber, and they don't actually answer the comments that people ask. Those are their viewers, and they should look after them as if they were fans of their band, because they are their fans and their income. So yeah, bit weird, but yeah. So Ryan Bruce is the next one that influenced me a lot, and he's a big game changer, and he's a really nice guy as well, and I think he's kept really down to earth. You know, to say he's become such a big YouTube personality, you know, he still seems down to earth, he still seems the same fluff that he always was to me, obviously a bit older and wiser, but yeah. So he's a big influence. Another guy that's influenced me massively that you probably wouldn't think has is Phillip McKnight. So Phil McKnight was probably the last channel to start that got big before I actually started my channel, and I saw Phil and I thought, I really like what he's doing. He's really informative, you know, and the facts, the information he gives you about gear is very factual. He researches a lot, he's got all his knowledge and everything, and I find his videos really interesting to watch. And I think when I review anything, whether it's a guitar from Jackson or an amp or whatever, and I talk a lot in the video, which people moan about, I think the reason I do that is because I am quite influenced by Phil McKnight and really like what he's doing, because Philip gives you tons of information that you need to know. Like if you watch somebody else playing through an amp, okay, you get to hear them playing through, but you don't really learn anything about the amp other than whether it sounds great to your ears after they've finished doing whatever they do with it. Same with the guitar, you can see someone else playing the guitar, see whether they're enjoying it or not, but you don't know much about that guitar. You don't know about the neck finish, how it feels, what the frets are like, the quality of the build, you know, all those things that are quite important when you buy a guitar. You know, what are the pickups sound like, how comfortable is the body, is the neck thin, is it wide, is it slim, is it fat, you know, all these things, tuning stability, all these things you need to know about. And by me just sitting here, say, playing the guitar, you don't get to learn those things, so it doesn't help you with your purchase. And if you're watching a gear review, I guess you are interested in purchasing it, or you won't be watching it. So yeah, Phil McKnight and his thorough, informative videos about gear kind of influenced my channel a lot, and he doesn't get mentioned on my channel, but should do, because he was probably the last big YouTuber, or the last YouTuber to go from small to big really quickly. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. If Phil can do this, I can do it. He's a very normal, average, everyday guitarist. He's got no ego at all. He doesn't look like a rock star or anything. And I just thought, you know, if this guy can do it, so can I. And I actually messaged him before I started my channel and said, thanks. You starting your channel and seeing how well you've done has kind of made me get off my arse and start doing my own. So that's the story. There is one YouTuber left that I really want to mention because I love him and I've liked him right from the start. It is Kilotones Texas. It's our Jason. So the reason I love this guy is because back when he first started, it was basically a metal guy that was influenced probably by all the same bands as I was, because he's kind of around my own age. Long hair, Les Paul, modern Marshall or a rectifier, crank it up in a room. You know, he used to be in that room that was all foamed out. It had all the foam on the walls. That's how long I've been watching him. Mic in front of the speaker and off we go, and it was just basically however many minutes of Jason riffing away, and he never talked or anything. It was just like, let's listen to this guy's riffs because they're awesome, and let's just enjoy the amp and the tone that he's using. And I really liked that. And if you go right back to the beginning of when my channel started, my videos were very similar but totally worse quality because the room was dark for a start. There was no windows in it, I didn't have any lights, but the theory was the same. It was me plugged into an amp an SM57 in front of the speaker, playing about 4 or 5 riffs, and I think I played the same riffs in every video for quite a while, just so people could compare them. The mic was in the same position, tried to be as accurate as I could with everything, and yeah, that's how I did it. And that style of me back then is nowhere near obviously as good as Jason's, but that is where it comes from, and that is where it is. And I guess what I do now today is a mixture of all these guys that I've mentioned, all put into my video. So all the talking that goes into my videos that some people like, some people don't like, that's the Phil McKnight influence. When I'm playing, doing a guitar demo, I usually start by playing along to a track that I've written myself. That's the Ola and Fluff influence in there. So yeah, all those guys have influenced me a lot. When you see plugins and you just see a picture of the screenshot of the settings of the plugin, and you just hear what I've done with it and hear a track, that's Budroyce. That is his influence, you know. Lasse has influenced me, not so much video wise, but my taste in gear and equipment. Obviously, with him being such a good producer, it's no good asking a guy that sits in his bedroom, if you're in a band and wanting a gigging and recording amp, it's no good asking a guy that sits in his bedroom, you know, what amp should I get as a touring, gigging, recording musician. You need to ask a producer that's worked with tons and tons of amps and tons of bands. So he was my go-to guy for advice for quite a while. So yeah, those are the guys that have influenced me the most. Playing wise, I probably watch fancy shredding players now more than I ever have, but I only really watch like 3. One of them is Cam Cooper, Guitar Man Cam, I think he is, on his Instagram. Cameron Cooper on YouTube. He uses CHARVELs like I do, and I've seen that kid. And the reason I'm calling him a kid is not because I'm being patronising. It's because when he first started out, to me, he was a kid. He was at college, he was a student, you know. And I first saw him and I thought, Jesus, this guy's young and can play really well. And when I say play really well, I don't just mean he's fast as lightning, which he is. What I meant was, he had this quality what's really rare for shredders. He has a vibrato and can make and accentuate notes and make them sound really nice. And he had his own style. It was like a mixture of Zach Wilde and Eddie Van Halen and you know, all that mixed together. Nowadays he's got Gus G as quite a big influence thrown in. Then you can hear some Gus G runs that have influenced him. Steel Panther, that dude from Steel Panther is a massive influence for him, and I can't remember his damn name. Is it Satchel? That's it, Satchel. Yeah, he's an influence for him, and you can hear some Satchel influence in his playing as well. So now he's a amalgamation of all those players. But yeah, he's a fantastic player, really nice guy, and he's from round here. So that's another reason I was interested in him. But he's now a man. He's grown up into a man, and his playing is amazing. If you just like listening to a guy and an amp, you know, no backing track, you just want to hear the guy shred, then he is really interesting to watch. He does lessons too on Skype, so check him out. All the descriptions, all these links are down there in the description. Another guy, I've just been on his YouTube now, and I've just put a post out saying, can you go like this guy's channel? Kieran Johnston. Now, Kieran Johnston is on my Instagram, and he gets thousands of people watching him. He sits there, you don't see his face much. A camera, his fingers, a Jackson or a CHARVEL, because they're the guitars he uses, same as me, and he just plays, and he's fast. Like, that guy is fast, like stupidly fast. But he's not just fast on his own, like he can actually play to a track as well, really, really well. When you hear him solo into a track, it sounds brilliant, you know. And again, like Cam Cooper, he can play fast, but also if he wants to do a bend and put plenty of feeling and vibrato in and things like that, he can do that as well. And it's rare, and it's something that I look for. So I watch him a lot. He's a massive influence, but he's one of those players that, like, if you're on a bit of a bad guitar day, you don't want to be watching him, because it can make you want to put your guitar down and just stop playing, to be honest. He seems to have a massive reach. I've got tiny hands, my hands are a bit girly. I don't know how he reaches where he reaches, but he just seems to have a massive stretch. It might be the camera lens, I don't know, but to me it just looks huge sometimes, his hand. Really nice guy. I think he's biggest on Instagram rather than YouTube, but he does have a YouTube channel as well, and that is down there in the description. The last guy I want to talk about is Rick Graham. He's just, he's been using Charvel now a while. He started off with Ibanez when I first started watching him, and then he started using Charvel, and I thought, well, that's interesting that he's gone on to Charvel. That guy is not human. Like, his playing is just ridiculous. He's so fast, and it's not just speed. There's a lot of pick dynamics and accentuated bits within the runs that he does that really make these bits pop out, you know. So he's fast, but there's quite a lot of feeling and vibe in his playing. He's just a ridiculous guitar player. Like I say, he's got an endorsement with Charvel now, and I think they've actually made him his own custom Rick Graham model. But yeah, he's great. Check him out too. You probably have seen Rick Graham already, and probably most of the other guys. If you've not seen them all, then go in the description and check them out. Some of them are my friends too, because obviously from talking to them for so many years and all the advice I've taken, they have become friends of mine. So thank you very much for watching this video. This is just basically answering the question of who made you start this channel that I got asked numerous times actually last month, and I thought, you know what, I should do a video about this. So thank you very much for asking the question. They are my biggest influencers and also the people that I like to watch the most. I'm going to do a quick shout out on the end because there's a chance Jamie Slate is watching this, who's a good mate of mine, lovely guy. I do watch his channel a lot, mainly because he's my friend. He's into quite a lot heavier, faster stuff than myself, but he's a good friend of mine. Check him out as well. Jamie's been around quite a while as well. I think he's just hit 100k subscribers. Jackson actually sent him a guitar for reaching 100k subs, which is awesome and thoroughly deserved, obviously, and it's a really good guitar, so that's worth checking out if you're here for Jackson guitars. So yeah, thought I'd just stick a mention there for Jamie Slays on the end, so he doesn't feel left out. How the hell he does what he does, and the reason I've left him out on the channel actually is because he doesn't really influence me, but he's still good at what he does. He goes live and he knows that many damn songs. Like, people in the country will just go, play this, play this, play this. He just starts playing it, and it's like, how the hell do you remember all those covers? Like, I don't know how he does it. He's more a player of other people's things. He plays a lot of covers, and I don't know how he knows so many and remembers them. That is not my forte. That is definitely not what I could ever do. My memory absolutely sucks. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon, and please check out the guys below in the description.